What up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast, a new show with a little spin from us on Detroit Lions news and rumors. But before we get into the show and how it works, let me bring in my co-host. First of all, y'all know who it is, man. I know these guys. Our resident defensive line coach is up first. The Wolverine Lion, Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on? How y'all doing today?
Man, y'all know who it is. It's the inventor of Thirsty Thursdays on Instagram, baby. It's my man, LL Cool Tones. What's going on, my guy?
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Now, back to how the show works. We look at Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they bossed up. If we disagree, we say it's balled on. We give our take on why we agree or disagree, and then we look at just how things are going on with the Lions right now. Once we get closer to the season, we're going to add some segments. We're going to add a balled out player of the week. There's some two things. We're going to switch it up a little bit, but so let's get into the show right now. Let's get into this thing. First up, what we're going to do is we're going to look at today's topics. Today, we're going to talk about, did JG get a fair extension from Detroit? Will Detroit have a top 10 defense in 2024? And will Jamo have a breakout season this year? So first up, let's look at Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff's extension, 4 years, $212 million of them things. He got the bag, man. He got the Brinks truck. Now, $113 million guaranteed at signing, so that's what he got at signing. $170 million guaranteed for the contract. Pretty good. $27 million cap hit in 2024, which is less than what he was actually going to make this year. And he's $32 million in 2025. The big contract, as far as the big numbers, don't start until 2026. So we have a couple of years to kind of work out some things. And there's enough time for the Lions to kind of restructure if they have to make some more moves, add some more players, or just do some things. Kind of like that Patrick Mahomes thing where, it's flexibility for the team to look at his contract and say, hey, we can make some moves. Now, this contract information was provided by Spotrac, excuse me. Now, I'm going to go to my man, Coach Jones first. Coach Jones, Goff got a fair contract extension. Boss up or balled on?
Man, that's a double boss up right there, man. I think I love that move, man. I'm gonna spit something for you real quick. Jared Goff in the clutch, which means playoff time, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 103.3 passer rating. Come on, man. It don't get no better than that.
So we got bossed up from my man, Coach Jones. All right. Now, I know we're going to spit some fire on this one. LL Cool Tones, man, bossed up or balled on that JG got a fair contract extension from the Lions.
Well, I'm gonna say it's balled on, and that's simply because I wouldn't pay nobody that much money outside of Patrick Mahomes. Man, that's a whole lot of money. I don't believe that Jared Goff is that good of a quarterback to where if we cannot afford other pieces that Jared Goff can, get us over that hump. But I also do have faith that, he may restructure or whatever, or that the team, the organization, make it work. But just that number for that guy, balled on for me.
All right. For me, I'm going to say it's definitely a boss up deal. I think JG earned that contract, in my opinion. You look where he started from. When he came to the Lions, they had a bare bones, really roster, didn't have a lot to work with. And the record shows 3-13-1 his first season in Detroit. And then you look at the next season, 9-8, on the verge of making the playoffs. And then his production continued. You look at last year, really top 5 in most major passing categories, and then top 10 for most categories overall throughout the season. And I just think he proved that he can win in Detroit. You look at that playoff game, the two playoff games that they won in Detroit, especially the one against the Rams, stepped up. I mean, crowds cheering his name, and he stepped up to the plate. The last play of the game for me, as far as the last meaningful play, was the first down to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Dan Campbell didn't waver on his quarterback. He gave him the ball and said, go out there and make a play and win us the game. And that's what he did. So I'm going to say definitely he bossed up, and the Lions gave him the great contract that he deserved. I just think he deserved that contract. I think he earned that money. And one thing, you look at the Trevor Lawrence contract, man, you talk about, I think that was an overpayment. I think that was the contract that was too big. If you look at it, Jared Goff's not even making, now they say average going to be average over $50 million a year, but that's not what he's going to get paid over that, you know what I'm saying, those first couple of years. And then with the ability to restructure, I think it's a really good deal. I think it's a hometown discount for the Lions.
Real quick,
discount.
Yeah, you look at it, he's only making $27 million this year and $32 next year. And with the ability to restructure that third year, I think that's a discount.
I don't know if that's a discount or just how the contract works, but go off, Kurt. What you about to say, Coach Mike?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
What
do you want me to do? No, don't do that. I don't care.
All right. All right. Let's next up, man. Let's look at the Lions can have a top 10 defense in 2024. Now, there's some people out there saying that it's possible. You know, they're looking at a couple of things, upgraded cornerback room. You look at Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson coming in, and then the drafting of Terrion Arnold and Enos Rickstraw, and Brian Branch coming back into the fold. You look at how Iffy played last year. Really, Kirby Joseph had the stats of one of the top 10 safeties in the league. I know some people don't really buy into that, but I think really Kirby Joseph, you know, he was tops in at safety in interceptions and pass breakups. Really good safety last year, you know. And then you have the addition of DJ Reader to that defensive line. You look at what he brings, how the run defense could be even better than it was, and it was tops in the league last year. And of course, here's my thing. Here's the new defensive assistant coaches. You know, John Scott didn't get it done last year, neither did Dre Bly. What do? You bring in Terrell Williams and you bring in Deshae Townsend. These guys are some of the best coaches at their positions in the league, and now they're part of the coaching staff here in Detroit. So, LL, you up first, man. The Lions can have a top 10 defense this year. Is that bossed up or is it balled on?
Well, I'm saying it's balled on, and that's because I feel like we'd be somewhere within that 15 to 20 range. I don't think we'd be top 10 or maybe even like 12 to 15, 12 to 17 type stuff. But I don't think we'd be top 10. But that's a long hill to climb up from, man. I know run defense we were up near the top, but pass defense we were not at all. But we did improve on the on the components that would affect our pass defense. We improved on the defensive line. I really don't like when people mention Marcus Davenport. When we say, "Oh, we improved," Marcus Davenport, I don't think he's a very good football player, and I don't know how much he's going to help our team. I'd be surprised either way. But of course, we got Terrell Williams, which is regarded as the best assistant football coach, not just defensive line coach in the league, but one of the best assistant coaches in the entire league. So I really like that signing. Deshae Townsend, whatever. I feel like they could just bring anybody in because our cornerbacks were so bad last year. Not saying that Deshae Townsend is just anybody, but an improvement can come from anywhere with that because we were that bad last year. And then of course just all of the bodies that we brought in, DJ Reader, and then we drafted the two guys. We drafted those two rookies, and just improvements from the other guys. I expect that Terrell Williams with some of those additions along the defensive line, a healthy James Houston to be one of them. improved Broderick Martin to be another one of them. I expect for Hutchinson to be able to take a step. I expect for our linebackers to take a step because they're going to have some big bodies in front of them. And of course, with all of that happening, I believe the back end will be able to take a few steps forward, including that's my dog. You named him Kirby Joseph, man. That's one of the ones. That's when we talk about contracts. I hope that we don't lose a guy like that because of whatever, not just putting it on, because we signed a bunch of big contracts this past offseason or this offseason. So, but I hope that he's one of the guys that we don't lose from attrition. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think we're gonna take a couple leaps forward, but not that far.
All right, Coach. I'm gonna go next. All right. So, do I think the Detroit Lions will have a top 10 defense this year? I'm going to say it's balled on as well. I think the Lions will be around that middle of the road. I think it's going to be definitely an improved pass rush with Terrell Williams coming in and making sure that we can get the pass rush where we need it to be with the addition of him and then DJ Reader. Him and Aleem McNeil are going to free up Aiden Hutchinson because you can't double team, triple team everybody on the defensive line. So it's going to give Aiden Hutchinson and whoever's playing opposite of him really some more opportunities as well, be it James Houston. Hopefully, I'm not saying that – I don't know. I can't say that Davenport's a bad player. I just think that he's one of those guys that Brad Holmes brings in to kind of revitalize themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of those guys that he's a Brad Holmes special. Come in, you know what I'm saying, and revitalize your career in Detroit. We give you opportunity to definitely come in and be a part of something special. If you can't hang, you know how the Lions going to do. Yeah. You got to go. You see how it's been over the last few years. Fan favorites like Charles Harris, he's out the door. Some other guys that we had on this roster, they just couldn't hang and they out the door. So, but I'm gonna agree, LL balled on as far as a top 10 defense. Coach Jones, he's our defensive line coach, man. Wolverine, what you got? Is this a balled on take of the Lions could be a top 10 defense this year?
I gotta say balled on. And LL is right. That is a hard jump to go from all the way at the back end to all the way up there. But I do think the Lions will be within that 16 to 12 range. So I do think they can be a top 12 defense. It just putting a lot of promise on that back end, which there is, but at the same time, until you do it, I can't really, grade you like that. But I will say this though, in 2013, 2014, our defense was amongst the top in NFL, and our defensive backfield was atrocious. So it can't happen.
All right. Yeah, definitely. All right. So last topic of the day. Let's look at our man Waymo, man. Jameson Williams will have a breakout season. He's being picked by a lot of pundits out there to have a breakout season in fantasy football. Just across the board, you look at Jameson Williams and at the end of last year. So here's some of the reasons why they're saying that he can have a breakout season. Josh Reynolds is in Denver. Okay, now that makes him the number 2 receiver on the Lions. Now, he worked on his route running and catching this offseason. You hear what Dan Campbell had to say. He was the guy that made the biggest jump coming into the spring, where he focused on his route running. Even Jamo himself said that he had to work on that because when he got in college, he didn't have to really line up in the right spot. And that's one of the things that definitely Dan Campbell said this offseason, that he was make sure he lined up in the correct position when he was running routes and running plays this spring. And you can tell his catching was just improved at the end of last year. You look at what he was doing. He was catching the ball. Look at the NFC Championship game. It wasn't just the end around. He made some tough catches, saying across the middle in the back of the end zone for the touchdown at the end of the game to kind of lead that the spoil comeback march, but he was doing his thing. And then finally had a full offseason to work with Jared Goff. He's going to have a full preseason and going right into the season where there's not a break. You know what I'm saying? He's healthy. There's not a suspension coming. So there's not going to be a break for him coming into the season where he's going to have to either throttle back or just look at things differently, as far as there's not going to be a break with him and Jared Goff. So I'm going to go first on this one, man. I think this is a bossed up take, man. Jameson Williams is going to have that breakout season. He is going to do his thing. I believe he's going to be one of the best players on the Lions this season. Of course, it's going to be hard to cover everyone. You know, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Sam Laporta, and you got Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield. So that's going to leave a lot of space for a man like Jameson Williams coming across the middle. He's just a deep threat. He can catch crossing routes. He can catch out routes. And then when he catches the ball, what he does with it, man, you look at that play, I think it was at Denver, man, he shook about 4-5 guys out of their shorts, man, right there on the sideline. It's tough to get this guy down. So I think he's going to have a breakout season. It's not going to just be gadget plays. He's going to be an integral part of the Lions offense this season. All right, my man, LL Cool Torrance, man. What you got, man? Is this a bossed up or balled on take that Jameson Williams will have a breakout season? Ooh, look at that boss up, boy.
He's slow rolling.
It better be a bossed up season for him. You know, just everything. Number one, the wide receiver position is the most dependent position on the football field to me. So of course, the more opportunities, the more there you go. That's all you need is more opportunities to produce. Number two, like you just said, the number two guy, was he the number two? But Josh Reynolds is gone. And, you know, some of the other guys are coming off injuries. Khalif Raymond is coming off an injury, and that's pretty much as far as the familiarity goes. We got BPJ and some of those guys, but those guys aren't being worked into the offense as much as Jameson Williams is. So yeah, it's a bossed up take because everything is going in his favor this year. He got a full off season. He's gonna get more opportunities, and it's just his time, man. Now we just gotta hope that y'all's duck arm ass friend can give him the ball down the field. I know we saw some issues with that with DJ Chark. We know we know where his strengths lie. He can get the ball to where he can get the ball to. So I'm just hoping that maybe we get to see him on his full potential, you know, flying down the field because he open, man. A lot of, you know, NFL Network shows a lot of them, you know, a lot of Lions games for some strange reason now that we in the offseason. But I done seen a lot of Lions games, and it's a lot of times where James Williams is blowing right on past people, pulling everybody with him, and then they just throw it, you know, a 15-yard end cut to St. Brown, which is a very nice play, but it's like that's 60 to the house right there, you know. But I know every play can't go that way, but definitely a bossed up take on this one.
All right, what you got, Coach Jones?
Hey, I gotta get it on right there, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, unless that deep safety over the middle start his back pedal now in training camp, he ain't gonna get there. That boy James Williams finna fly. They finna cut it loose, and you know, he can take the 5-yard slant to the house. He can do in and out, you know what I'm saying, in and out cuts, and then he take it to the sideline to the house. He can do skinny posts. I think you're going to see the evolution of this route running, and when that happens, it's going to be something, boy. I can't wait. Jameson Williams, man, I say about 800, 850, and about 11 touchdowns this year, man. Jamo.
All right. Definitely. Man, it is that's what we're talking about today, man. And this is how the show is going to go. We're going to be having recorded shows on Monday and Wednesday. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to see Kurt Steele in the mornings doing some live shows with you guys, talking to you guys, seeing what your takes are on what you have to say about the Lions. If they bossed up or balled out on some of these takes. Hey, it's time to get on out of here, man. First up, my man, Coach Jones, what you got to say to the people as they get ready for the rest of their day?
Man, I just say, man, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back with my bros. We doing the thing, man. We're going to be out here. Bossed Up Baller podcast is on and popping. You know, the football season for me is right around the corner. We already had our first 7-on-7, man. Y'all know I'm a D-line coach. So, man, this is a wonderful time of the year, man. I love it. I can't wait.
All right, my man, El Kutos, what you got to say for the people, man, especially coming up You know what I'm saying? We're only 3 days away from Thursday, man. What you got, man?
And it's July 4th, so it's got to be a special one all the way around. But man, just happy to be back, man. Thank you, Kurt. You know what I'm saying, for reaching out and bringing me on back, man. You already know. Shout out to all the Facebook groups. I don't know all of them by name. Shout out to everybody just been, interacting and messaging me. Hey, when y'all coming back, or y'all gonna be back, and all that other good stuff, man. It really made me feel good, So I'm glad to be back. And, I can't wait to say a whole lot of terrible things about Jared Goff, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. LL got to be here with his JG hate. All right, for more Lions content from us, man. Follow the host, man. You can see our on social media. We got the sites right here. So go ahead and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. And you can go ahead and look at the websites underneath our names. You can go over there and see what we got going on those websites, man. Make sure you go there and follow us over there, man. Thanks for watching. Always remember, whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man, Coach Mike Jones and LL Cool Torrance, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.